Well, hello, all you knuckleheads. Once again, here's another cringy video. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button to Mr. Billick's boring um, reviews. Anyway, this is for bio, so if it's astronomy, why are you watching this? This is for Unit 3, and we are talking about we're talking about energy. All right. Um, Listen, this is going to be super quick and easy. What I am doing is I am glancing over at the test and just making sure you understand what you need to know. What you need to know is that equation that we have been talking about. And that's like the C6, the H12, the O. You need to have that memorized. Or well, you don't, maybe not necessarily to have that memorized. Let me kind of take a quick pause on that. But we have some things, remember, on one side, and then we add another thing, and then we have an arrow, and then we get a couple other things that come out because of that. You need to know what are these, and I'll just even give it to you. These are the reactants, all right? And then what is produced is, shocker, called the products, all right? You need to know what the products are for photosynthesis. You also need to know what the products are for cell respiration as well. Okay, have that, kind of look at that. We chatted about that before. Maybe you got to look back on your notes. Um, Other things we have to know. What is an autotroph? Okay. What is a heterotroph? All right. Those are a couple things you just got to know. We've chatted about those before. All right. As we're kind of going through here, and you know what ATP is. All right. What is ATP? What is ADP? And how does it go from one to the other? It goes back and forth a lot. You need to know that as well. You need to know these terms as well. We talk about aerobic respiration and we talk about anaerobic respiration. One means with oxygen, one means without. I'm just going to give this to you. This is with O2. This is with no O2. And I actually had a student in my class brought it up as anaerobic has the letter N in it, so just think that when you see N, this means no oxygen. When we talk about anaerobic, there are going to be two other types that we're going to be talking about as well. We're talking about lactic acid. That's a type. And we're also talking about alcohol fermentation. You need to look those up. Those are some slides on there, okay? There are questions that have graphs. As long as you can pull back your idea between, these sort of main ideas, really look at the graph. Don't get freaked out just because it's a graph. We'll look at, I think if I have something here that looks like this, what does it say on this side? What does it say on this side? What does the title say? And then just interpret what in the world those dots mean. You're smart, you can figure it out. You also do need to know, sort of, we have that picture of the blob, and when we talk about ATP, those are on your notes, okay? Pretty much like that's just one thing is you got to know sort of those diagrams. When it comes to photosynthesis as well, we're going to have a picture of this. We're going to have those green pancakes. And then over here, we're going to have something else as well. What happens over here? What happens over here? What are those green pancakes called? What needs to, cough, cough, hint, hint, come in over here on this side? What is brought in over here on this side? That big items that are on our notes that have all those little boxes in there. I would really know those, class. Just know those, all right? I am letting you know. Once again, there's a couple graph questions on here. Just look at the graphs. Look at the graphs and go really, really, really slow. You need to know, as we're kind of doubling back here to this idea, which one of these gets more energy. When we talk about energy, which one produces more ATP? All right? As we're kind of going back to photosynthesis, there are two byproducts that come out of here. One is really important to us. Well, actually, both are really important to us, but you need to know what products are. We did talk about this as well, just briefly. The term glycolysis. Okay, remember, lysis means to cut. Glyco, that just means we are cutting. What are we cutting? We are cutting glucose. I'm not even going to spell that out. Check that out. You need to look at that. A couple graph parts, photosynthesis. We keep on, as class, there are questions that as I'm glancing through here, that if, once again, I'm just going, if you know this box thing, then you know what products are produced, you know where it's happening, specifically here, if you can really hone in on those pictures, I think you're going to be a-okay. You're going to be a-okay when it comes to that, because a lot of these questions they talk about, like, okay, where is it? What's the byproduct? Those images that you all worked on your notes are really, really super flippin' important. Okay, if you have those down, you're going to be okay. Like I said, you do need to know, as I kind of get away from here, you need to know the two types, all right, of anaerobic, and you need to kind of know like the steps as we kind of talk about cellular respiration. So once again, as I don't have my notes kind of pulled up here, but this is the thing, is I'm just making this video for you. When they talk about that cellular respiration, we have step number 1, and then I'm going to kind of help you out. Step number 1 is that glycolysis. It's glycolysis. And then over here we do step number 2, and then over here is step number 3. The last one is that electron transport chain. Okay. You gotta, once again, I'm gonna help you out here. This is the Krebs cycle. All right. If you have this image in your head, you're gonna be just fine, because then you're gonna know what is the product. Okay, what is being produced and what's being produced here. What is coming out of here? That's gonna be that O2. I believe that's CO2 over there. Without me really looking at your notes. Pull those notes up though. All right, pull those notes up. Like I said, a good chunk of this test is the cellular respiration. Okay. Then we talk about from cellular respiration, you need to know photosynthesis. Okay, not just okay, it happens in plants. Like, okay, what are there's one we talk about the light independent reaction. We talk a lot about the light dependent reaction. Okay, what is the products for those? What are the products for those? Like when I say photosynthesis, you really got to kind of dive into that. What needs to be brought in? What is kicked out? Where In the chloroplasts, like I said, we have those green pancakes things. What are those called? That's important for what? Independent or dependent? You got it. Once again, you just got to know those things. Then we go, once again, we talk about anaerobic and we talk about aerobic respiration as well. Where does that take place? What are the steps in that? I really do hope this was helpful, class. If you have any questions, you can always send me a message. But other than that, don't do anything stupid.